very widespread belief in the human kingdom is that we are primarily our bodies and the conditioning that arose for this or keep on arising for this belief, I am the body, and that gives rise to the sense, I am a person, I am the person. And the person is a form of consciousness, but it is a very limited form of consciousness. The consciousness is imperishable. The body is not. The body is a time body. When consciousness identifies with the body, then it comes under an illusion and a delusion that it shares the body's qualities. And seeing that the body is prone to sickness and to death and aging, then it believes it is subject to those conditions also. When the consciousness identifies with the body, which it needs in order to taste experiencing, and believes it is the body, I call this the fall. This perhaps is the fall from grace. I will explain further about that. And so we came into the belief that we are limited beings and we're here only for the duration of our bodily life. The consciousness being imperishable, taking on such a belief, it creates a trauma inside the body of being, that we have to do everything now to enjoy as much as we can. The consciousness becomes insecure, fearful, selfish, limited. And somehow has lost a sense of conscious contact with its own source, which is imperishable existence. And so suffering comes into the world. Pain, suffering, conflict. The sense, I am this body and you are another body. My body is blue, yours is green, this one is yellow. Meaning something as though we are fundamentally different. All these beliefs come, and so conflict arises. Then the fear that we will run out of resources, the fear that we will not be liked by another one or rejected by, all these things come for the conscious being who has fallen into a state of hypnosis in believing that it is merely a person. You are much more, we are much more than persons. We are actually the impersonal self that is playing this role as person. So when consciousness plays the role of a person, it comes into a very restricted zone, a restricted realm. And that is the suffering. The large river of human consciousness that is seeking for liberation or to know God or to find the truth moves with this deep belief that we are personal. And so the very fact that we believe we are personal limits the scope in which we can explore. All the while, the fundamental consciousness, which is imperishable, which is totally complete, beautiful, peaceful, blissful, is overlooked. And a much more narrow focus is prevailing in us. And because of this, human beings always, we are speaking from the place of the person. This is wrong, oh, how can I do this, what can I find? It is a confused state and a confusing state. But somehow it seems in order for this play of existence to happen, for a while we as consciousness had to take the darshan of this ignorance, of this belief we are the body, in order to experience the world through the sense of individuality and of personhood. But because fundamentally we are consciousness, we always have the advantage because we are already the self. Only some awakening must happen whereby we recognize afresh that we are this, not just merely mentally or intellectually, not merely by intellectual conviction, but through pure experience, pure wisdom and understanding. And for this reason, this kind of satsang comes into the play also of existence, to point to those who many are tired of just experiences that fade on the path to liberation and are looking now for the source. Many people come and they say, I've been practicing spirituality for 20 years, 30 years. Why it's so difficult? I say, it is not. Just correct understanding has to come. And open heart, willingness. A willingness to lay aside the bundle of concepts we are presently holding on to see afresh, with fresh eyes. Then we may stand a chance. But we are what we are seeking. And it is my hope that you will come to see this, what is really obvious, but at the same time obviously overlooked, missed. Once the understanding comes, the recognition happens, you're being set free. I cannot tell you that this will take so many years or so on. I feel it could happen today, every moment. Why? Because it is no distance from you, it is here already. Then what makes the difficulty? The difficulty is only corresponding to the strength of your identity as a person. If you believe very strongly in this, then I have to speak to you from that place. But even if I appear to be speaking to you from the place of personhood, it is not my true place of speaking with you. I feel we are speaking from the place of consciousness, conversing with consciousness about consciousness. I cannot speak to you as less than consciousness. And I know that the person is only a limited form of consciousness and very unstable. It is always changing. For this reason, I've tried to steer you away from just personal questions. Because if I listen on the basis of merely personal questions, we are going to be here for a very long time. And we are not going to make much headspace, because what the person learns today, they forget tomorrow. Unless an experience is deeply embedded inside your heart, you will forget it. And even though you may feel you have a strong belief in something, very often such belief, if it's not established in the heart, it will collapse under stress. You will not be able to hold it, because it's just a belief. It feels like it's something apart from you. You're here to find you, your true nature. Not something that you can have, but what you are. So I am taking this time this morning just to spread out the foundation a little bit for you again, and to really remind you why I steer away from too many personal questions. Because the person believes in themselves as a person, and this makes it very difficult, because even though you're getting higher advice, we still cling to this person as though it's a fact, whereas to me it is fiction. And always the person is always changing. So I want you to hear this And so when you come with your questions, there are different kinds of questions. There are questions which I call knowledge questions, which someone asks about something like, how does consciousness do this? And when you go to this place, what you do? These are knowledge questions. But there are other questions which I call freedom questions. These questions come when the soul is tired of the struggles with the personal psychological mind. It wants to be free of it, wants to come home. It has a certain urge, it has a depth to it, it has an urgency about it. And such questions, when they're asked, not to prolong and to persist with suffering dualities, but to kind of come back to a place of pure understanding, your true place of freedom. And what is beautiful about this direct pointing is it points you to the everlasting consciousness which is here always. And not say, look, in 6 months you will see it. You see? So for many people, the sense is, we are told you must purify your mind, improve, purify. And then when your mind is pure enough, then you may begin to know God or know the truth. This is one path. It is a great river, and many go in this way. And it is also a legitimate way, but it is slow also. I say, let's find the truth of who you are now. And then somehow what remains untrue, the fragments of the untruth, will be more clearly seen. And then you'll be able to discard those afterwards. So one is you're starting to search and to clean your mind. But you're cleaning your mind based on the sense of personhood. And that can take, as you're cleaning, more dirt is coming. And you're cleaning and more dirt is coming. And you can be cleaning for a very long time. Not that we are that dirty, actually, because the tendencies keep returning. Mostly we are suffering from not so much. Most things in the world don't trouble you. It can be just a few. But they have different ways in which they come, different forms they take. But here I try to point you beyond the stage of human thinking into your divine nature, which is the background of all of this, and to show you, to demonstrate through you and with you that you are here. You're right here. The self is right here. You are never apart from the true self. It is your truest truth. It is the one place that does not go away. Everything else goes away. Everything else belongs to time. And time says, all that you see, all that you imagine, all that you experience, one day will be gone. Each moment they're passing. We have this strange belief we can hold on to them, and that you can make something so stable it doesn't move. But it is not like that. You cannot turn what is by nature relative into the absolute. The absolute is here all along. It is what we are. Absolute means the pure, unchanging, natural consciousness. The person is not the pure, unchanging, natural consciousness. It's always changing. It's not stable. It's not true. It is only belief. And belief has created this entity we assume to be ourself. It is only a mask worn over the absolute. So satsang is to demonstrate this and to discover this in yourself, because I have not come to impart merely a belief to you, but to actually direct you into real seeing. And so I can tell you that this also comes from God. It is also the expression, the direct expression of truth. Everyone is the same. Everyone is this in the heart. It doesn't mean that even though we are all this, still our expressions can vary. This is fine. We're not have to be some kind of clone. We are just this internally, but your expression can be unique. This is fine. Then this life becomes more light, superficial, more of a play, and then you may enjoy. But to believe you can enjoy this life based upon the ego, it will not be stable. And this is the great invitation, the great mystery, the great challenge, to transcend the limitations of our conditioning. It is a mistake, but it is a divine intended mistake, that for a while we will believe and come under the illusion and the delusion that we are this, and then wake up through understanding, through what we call sadhana, spiritual practice, exercises and so on, but most of all through correct knowledge, embraced in the heart, confirmed through wisdom and pure intelligence that sets you free.